Hi, ladies. It's Johnny here from ManSpeak. Monday night, 8:30. As always, ManSpeak live. And as you ladies know, recently I've kickstarted a interview with a man. And tonight I'm lucky enough to have Mark Sandercock, who is actually a relationship coach himself, and he works with men and women. More than men than women, but definitely helps out both. And Mark's background basically is he's a married man for the last 14 years, but he has been divorced previously and children involved as well. So definitely different than a couple of weeks ago with Andrew Eagleton. But yeah, definitely curious to talk about this with Mark tonight and his background and what's led him to the journey he has today and what he's learned in between. So firstly, welcome to the call, Mark.
Thank you, Johnny, and great to be a part of your show, mate. It's awesome. And
Awesome.
thank you very much.
No, thank you for giving your time up, to be honest with you. So, so like I said at the start, you currently are married, but you've come from a background of being, divorced as well with kids. So I suppose kick-started, just let the ladies know a bit more about your background so they've got a bit more of a better understanding.
Yes, certainly. So, as you mentioned, I'm currently married and have been married to my wife, Monica, for 14 years. We have a daughter together who's 8, and I was previously married before Monica. I was married for 8 years and have 2 beautiful children from that marriage. My son is 22 and my daughter is 19. So 3 kids in total. And in between there, had a break where I was single and dating ladies in between, and have changed and evolved myself, especially in my current marriage, especially over the last 6 or so years. And that's a brief background of myself in regards to my relationships and what I was doing and where I am now.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Hopefully, give that ladies a bit of a better understanding of your background, which is awesome. So, I suppose let's touch on that first bit of your journey. So, what did you actually learn from your first marriage?
From my first marriage, coming out of that, I learned that communication's the key. Communication, spending time with each other. My first marriage, we were both shift workers. My wife at the time was a nurse doing afternoon shift. I was a pastry chef and a baker doing night shift, and we were like ships in the night. There wasn't much quality time. We were young. We had children young, and over the time we grew apart, because we weren't spending time with each other. Then we had 2 young kids, busy running a house, or busy trying to build our empire, buy a house, do that Aussie dream, that so-called Aussie dream of get married, buy a house, have children. So we spent a lot of effort in regards to doing that, and not spending that time with each other and communicating most likely was a detriment to our relationship. And I learned a lot from that. And shift work too, if you're a couple, 2 people doing shift work, it's difficult, and very rare is it sustainable to do that for that length of time in a relationship. So my learnings were just communicate, spend time, get to know each other more on what they want and need, not just be there. And so there's some good learnings out of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's great that you actually touched on that the communication side of it, because it's a big key, isn't it, really, to learn out of something like that. Now, I think we touched on before offline, but you actually left in the marriage, so your wife actually left you.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. So it got to a stage where I wasn't even aware of it. To me, it was all just ticking along. It was just how it was. And my wife at the time came in and said, you're going that way, I'm going this way. We're just going separate ways. And she wanted out. And to me, I was blown away. I had no idea of it was even coming. So to me, it was a real shock. We tried the marriage counselling. I tried the begging. I tried the lot. Didn't work. And there's obviously reasons why that didn't work, and she had her reasons, and that's all cool. And we separated, and then I moved back into my parents' home for a little while, and then it was that battle of, well, for me personally, I really struggled with not seeing the kids every day. As in, my son was 5, my daughter was 3, and the hardest thing for me was saying goodbye to my kids. That I remember the night just like it's yesterday, having to say to my son, I'll see you, mate, and I won't be here in the morning. That was tough. And I'm sure it's tough for every parent. It is tough for every parent, male or female. And that was one of my moments that it cut deep, and that has an impact in regards to saying you can't see your children in the morning, or that's 7 days a week where you normally would. And I suppose that's where I spiraled downhill from there. And that's another journey where I went from there, from trying to re-establish my relationship, or trying to create that back again, knowing there was nothing there to salvage. It was my wife at the time said, "It's done. There's nothing more that I can do." So I had to regroup. I had to find myself and regroup.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, definitely. You definitely learn a lot from that first marriage side of it. So talk about the first marriage. So now you've said the first marriage has ended. Now, what was your mind and your emotional state, in between the marriages? Like, and how long was that for?
My mind and emotional state was low at that time. I rebelled. I went and did all the things I thought, I'd missed out on. So I went out dating, went out to the clubs, did all that stuff. I abused drugs and alcohol, and it was a bad spiral downwards. I knew I had to be there for my children, and when I did have them, because I had them on the every second weekend and every Wednesday night, like 6 days a fortnight. So I still had to be there for them, but I wasn't taking care of myself. And if I wasn't taking care of myself, and this is something I learned years down the track, I was in a self-sabotage way. I was just self-sabotaging myself through drugs and alcohol and not caring for myself. I was still working and doing the things I had to do, but I wasn't coping mentally, and I really didn't know where to go or what to do. And it wasn't until one day, if I can share how I started my personal journey to regroup, it was one day I was walking along and I found a card on the footpath which was for open-eyed meditation. And I'm looking on the ground and I'm like, what's it? It's meant to be. I was at my lowest of lows, at the bottom of my barrel. I found this card for meditation, and I'm looking on, where is this place? And I'm right out the front of it. And that began my journey. I knew it was something that was like, well, this is where I need to start. And I started just by caring for myself and beginning to get to know me again, of where I need to go. And that was just the small snippet of where I had to begin. And that's where I started, just by meditating and getting myself back to an even level.
Wow. That definitely is a journey. From so it's amazing how things happen for a reason, don't they? Like you said, that meditation cut, obviously that was, I suppose, like the universe telling you, you know, this is the next step.
Definitely. And I'm a big advocate for that. And so I began meditating, looking after myself. I dated.
Yeah, you go.
Sorry.
No, you go. Keep talking.
Yeah, I dated different women. I dated girls that were, 9 or 10 years younger than me. I was dating all different women for different reasons that I really didn't know at the time. And they were giving me things, whether it be the connection or adventure, and they were giving me things that I wasn't unaware of. It was just what I needed for the time to let loose.
Yeah.
And deep down, I knew they weren't good relationships. I knew they weren't going to be forever. And it wasn't until I met my current wife now, which was just totally out of the blue, and then I realised, that's got something there. That gave me the shivers and the feels and the good stuff. And then I knew that's where I belong. And yeah.
Can I touch base on something with you, just so the ladies can kind of understand as well? Like you talk about that dark period about the dating. What actually, you said, like, once the marriage ended, what actually gave you the courage of to open up to dating again? Like, because it would have been, well, coming from a man's view, I feel it would have been a touchy time to actually put yourself out there openly again. So what gave you that courage to actually do that, or what were you thinking at the time?
Yeah, my mindset at the time wasn't, it was more of, I'm going to have fun and I'm just going to let loose.
Yeah.
And so I had courage of a want. I wanted to get out and have fun and let loose. And it's not the right way to go out, not the right intentions in my mindset to go out and find a true partner. I found partners, but I was just going out to have fun. And because I was married young in my first marriage, I thought that I'm going to go and recapture some of that youth that I missed out on and go out and be crazy. And so it wasn't a good, it was something I had to get out of my system, and I got out of my system. And yes, I don't know if it was courage, because I probably went out going, no, I'm just going to go have fun, and not a get back, but maybe just for me to go a little loose and know that I am worth. I know that I can have an attraction for a woman have attraction to me. And I probably had to rebuild my self-esteem back up. And that's probably why I did that, because I was flat. I wanted to be wanted. And after not being wanted, I needed to go get that want for someone to want me.
Yep. How can, I suppose, knowing what you know now, what could women actually do to actually spot that in a guy? What are some things that you would share with women to say, hey, that you're not with the right guy, I suppose, or the guy's not being serious? Knowing the state you were in at that stage, like during that journey, you might have found a woman who actually really was into you and wanted to take things further, but you were at that stage where you're kind of going, yeah, look, I just want to have fun, or do it, where there's a lot of women, single women out there. I know there's women on the ManSpeak group who are kind of, they're looking for the one, you know what I mean, the perfect man. So what can you share for men for you, for women to kind of stay away from that? I suppose that's
No, that's a great question too. If a man's not being sincere, is a first good one. If a man's not being sincere straight up, if a man is being standoffish and he's got the different intent, if he's just looking for that old me, and I'll say the old me because that's who it was, was going out looking for a good time. And if a woman can sense that, and if the bloke's just, not being sincere and not giving all of him, then they're big sign. They're the alarm bell. And if he's not willing just to catch up for the coffee or a lunch and, those nice things, I now understand what a woman is wanting in a man. And if a woman goes to ring up the man and he's saying, no, not tonight or not tomorrow, I'm too busy, they're the warning signs.
Yeah, great insights. It's good to hear from them too, because at the end of the day, this is coming from a man view, do you know what I mean? And just need to hear, if there is a man, not saying all men are going to be like that in between marriages, but just to pick up on the signs. So, thank you for sharing that, partner. Hopefully the women on the page, get to learn something from what you've just said. So now that you're in your second marriage, what have you done differently the second time? Knowing what you know for the first time and in between, what have you done differently?
Yeah, so, differently now is the feeling I have for my wife, and that initial feeling, that butterflies in the stomach, the feeling of the chest being full and blood pumping through the heart.
Yeah,
that is a massive indicator and something that's different. We were friends, or we were lovers, and then my wife went back overseas. We met briefly, and we became good friends over a 12-month period. So we communicated on a different level. We didn't have any expectations of each other in the beginning, and so we became really close friends. And I was there for her, even though we were thousands of miles apart. And we weren't in a committed relationship, we were just friends.
Yeah.
And it got to the stage where it was like, what is this with this woman? And she was thinking, what is it with this guy in Australia? And she came back over to see where I was all at, as in what's going on here? Why is it when we're out, or we're out with other people and we want to get home and speak to this person on the other side of the world? And when she came here for a couple of weeks to see what was going on, she was like, no, I'm coming back. This is it. And we committed to each other in regards to wanting to make it work, not giving up. So too often these days, couples give up. And there's so much more to each other. If you put in the work, a relationship does require work. It's
why do you think they give up these days? Why do you think? Because look, you're in your mid-40s. I'm 42. Why do you think couples give up so easily? Though, what makes it different these days than it did years ago when our parents, were at that stage?
Oh, look, there's many reasons, and people go for the easy option these days. A lot of people don't realise that you still need to put into your partner and your relationship all the years, not just at the beginning in the first 6 months. It's not just in the first 6 or 12 months. It continues and evolves, and get to learn and understand and know your partner, because we're all changing individually. And these days, people just don't try. They don't give it a go. It's much easier to jump off the bandwagon. The grass isn't always green on the other side because you've still got to water it. And that's the thing. If you look after your own garden, give that the water it deserves, it'll thrive. Yeah. And be prepared to go deeper. Be prepared to take your relationship to another level, go deeper on, and take your relationship to somewhere where it's never been before.
Yeah.
Be prepared to be uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, you get growth, and that people will put work into going to get a promotion or to get their business started, and then they forget about their relationship. What's really going on with my partner? What's really going on with myself? What can I do to improve the relationship that I've got now? And what I say to couples, what we say to couples, the first question we ask is there love? And if there's love, then you can make it work. That's what it comes down to. Some people say, no, I'm just out of here. I've had enough of him, had enough of her, whatever it may be. You'd be surprised if you get to know your partner again and really run that attraction strategy, run that love strategy again, how beautiful they look again. And that stuff is amazing. When you see couples that have been married, whether they've been married for 2 years or 20 years, when you run some of these strategies and bring it back, it's great to see their eyes just light up, and it's beautiful. It's awesome.
Yeah. Where do you think men fall down these days with their marriages? Where do you think they let themselves down, when it does come to it?
Yeah, men, and I used to be guilty of this, and I still learn. I'm still learning. Men have got to be prepared to be vulnerable, to allow themselves to feel, have the emotions, speak to their partner, lean into their woman. When the woman's, and I'll put it the way I like to describe it as, when a woman's having her storm, a woman's like a storm, and she'll just be blowing hard at the guy, just trying to push him over like an oak tree. But a man needs to stand there strong and be there for his lady, not just break because she's having one of her storms. A woman has so many different emotions and things going on. A man needs to stand there. A lot of men, and what I used to do, the old me, used to walk outside, go to the office, and just block it out.
Yeah.
And that just made my wife even angrier.
Yeah.
Now, I understand it's not about me. Men need to make sure we don't make it about us.
Can I stop you on that? The word I want to quickly touch base on you about is vulnerability. Now, I want to take it to the women's side of it now. Where do you think women let themselves down when guys are being vulnerable? When we're actually trying to open up, where do you think women let themselves down from our point of view?
Yeah, and exactly. It's a two-way street as well.
100%.
Women need to create a space for the man to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because without creating that space and allowing the man to be able to do that in a space that's loving and knowing that she's there for him, that's when a man can be vulnerable. And I'll use my own personal experience with this, where I was at a massive, confused part of my life, and I had to tell my wife something that was close to me that I kept in, and she allowed me to say it, see it, feel it, in a space that was non-judgmental. And what she did, she just stood there, listened, and then embraced me and said, "Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Are you okay?" So it is both ways, most definitely, that it's creating that space for a man to be vulnerable, because vulnerability isn't weakness. And I bang this home all the time. Vulnerability is such courage and strength that when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you just ooze this massive strength and courage, and that stuff is gold. And if a woman can allow that space for a man to do that, that's when the energy and the connection gets closer between both of them. The man feels safe, the woman feels safe as well, knowing men can be all of that.
Yeah, I think you put it in the head there, because I think women. This is my experience from talking to women. Sort of is that women seem to be more vulnerable these days than men are. So when they're being vulnerable, they do it so much more than men. So they think men should be doing the same as them, but we rarely do it because we've got that hard nut. We've got to be the hard nut. We can't show it. We can't do it. So when it actually does happen, that's when I think that's when women should kind of respect that space. And I've said this before, how women will harp on men. As soon as they do something wrong, we won't hear the end of it. We'll hear about it a week, 2 weeks, later. But as soon as we open up, it's like, yeah, no worries, okay, awesome. But it's just that vulnerable stage, isn't it? And that's what's going to make. I feel that's what's going to make a difference when it comes time to a relationship ending or continuing.
Most definitely, mate. And also to understand that men want to be appreciated, women want to be understood. And once we get that, that's a massive learning curve. And it took me a long time to get it. And it took me a long time to be able to get how to be the man for my wife in regards to leaning into when she's having her storm. It took me ages to go. I kept questioning my mentors, the people, in the industry that were mentioning this. I kept saying, why is it up to the man to do that? And once I got it, I was like, okay. It's a massive thing. You definitely understand that men want to be appreciated, women want to be understood.
What did you find, I suppose also for women to understand, like during that stage when you were having fun, whatever, and you had, you were dating different women and things like that, what was the one defining difference between your wife now compared to all the other girls? What changed it for her to be the one compared to others? That you saw in yourself, you thought, hold on, this is different than the other girls I've dated. What signs that you gave to yourself?
I'll set the scene of how it all came about, because it was like an epiphany for me anyway. I'd gone to Alice Springs to facilitate a training course. So I was going to be there for 2 weeks. And my brother had flown down from Darwin because I hadn't seen him for a little while. So we caught up. We had dinner, went to the local pub in Alice Springs. My wife was backpacking around Australia, and she was on her last week of a 12-month backpacking trip. So she'd been at the Think Desert Race all day for a few days, covered in red dirt, not looking the prettiest of how she normally does, all with red dirt on. So we met that night, and a few drinks, had fun, and then we caught up the following night, because I was going to be in Alice Springs for a couple of weeks. So I rang her and said, hey, do you want to catch up for dinner? My brother and I are going out for dinner again. I knew she was a backpacker. I thought she'd love a meal. And she was actually camel riding when I rang her. So she said, yeah, sure, catch up. And then she was flying back to Sydney to fly home. And the next day I was like, what's with that woman? And I was standing in the middle of Todd Mall in Alice Springs, and I was like, what is with that woman? There was just something there. And there was a feeling I just got, and I was like, no, what is that woman? There was just this feeling I got in the chest, it was a gut feel. And I never felt that before. And I rang her. And she was sort of like, oh, what are you ringing me for? I was like, just ring and say g'day. She was back in Sydney, about to fly back to Sweden. Yeah. So the thing that was different was that feeling I had on the inside. It just filled me up. It was just a massive feeling I had in the guts. Yeah. That's what it was. And then when she went back to Sweden, we just kept in contact as friends, because she was on the other side of the world. And I had kids. I'm thinking, I'm not going to get to Sweden. So it was just the gut feel and this excitement I had in the belly. It was amazing.
Wow. And the point, thanks for sharing that story. One thing I was listening to at the start was when you said, she was covered in red dirt and she was looking at her prettiest, and we sat there and we chatted. So, and the reason why I'm bringing that little point up from what you said is that I feel, there are men out there who have to have that initial attraction, the looks and stuff like that. Is that what you felt at the start when you were talking to her, or was it the actual conversation and the you had?
Yeah, look, the conversation and just the fun. We went out having dancing, and just the fun, the lightheartedness, and of course she looked better after she had a shower and got all the dirt off as well. So, so there's no denying.
Yeah. I suppose it's just a good indicator because, I suppose men are perceived to. We all need that physical attraction in the end, but that physical attraction is only going to take you so far, isn't it? In the end of the day, it's that, like you said, that I suppose for you, I might be wrong, I might be right here, but that was the difference between your wife now compared to all the other girls that you had previously, the ones that were 8 or 9 years younger than you, whatever. There was that connection, wasn't it, in the end?
That's correct. There's that connection, and I still remember having dinner at my parents' house and mum and dad saying to me, "Oh, aren't you going out?" Because I sort of just kept myself in, especially when I knew she was coming back. And I said, "No, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for Monica to come back." And they're like looking at me going, "What? You only just met her a couple of nights?" And I was like, "No, there's just something there." And that's the gold. That was the gold. It was just that feeling.
Wow, it's great insight to have, isn't it? Like, I suppose, and was that something that kind of you learnt from your first marriage? Did you feel like you had that connection the first time, or you felt it was stronger the second time?
Oh, definitely stronger the second time. Yeah, it definitely was. And especially having that time to build up a friendship before we were committed to each other. We were friends, and we were able to, this was going back before there was Skype or Messenger, so we were on the old phone texting, the one, pressing it 5 times to get one letter. So this is, so this was, we built up this friendship of getting to know each other on that level. And I think that was a great base for our relationship, most definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting you should say that to us. I think we get caught up in everything these days, don't we? That sometimes back to basics is always a good thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Going back to basics and just keeping it simple, isn't it? Because we're simple guys. Guys are simple. We're simple. We don't need the flashy stuff. Where we just want to communicate with a woman if we do have that connection with them.
That's correct. If a woman can love you for who you are and what you bring, and likewise, when a man can love a woman for what she is and what she can bring, that's awesome. And that's what it's about. Just having a woman accept you for who you are. That's the best. And I had 2 kids. This was a woman moving to Australia to be with a guy that she only met for 17 days. If you think that we communicated for a year via the phone, she has said to me, I have 2 kids, 2 young children, and that was gold. That was gold.
Quickly, if it's okay if you don't want to touch on that side of it, but how was your mindset dating, knowing that you were a single dad of 2 kids? Did that affect the way that you went about things on that? Did you feel like it was something that you were kind of had a fear when you spoke to women? Oh, look, by the way, I'm a single dad of 2. Did you keep that aside, or did you just tell me dated somebody?
Yeah, sometimes, mate, I didn't tell them.
Yeah.
because I had been out of the dating game for 8 years,
Yeah.
and I was unsure of what to do, what to say, how to present myself in regards to, what do I tell a lady? Some ladies I did tell them, yeah, I've got 2 children. Other ones I didn't, and it was just it was just me. They just saw me. So it was kind of not being true to myself, not being authentic, and that's because of where I was at that time. Though I was still finding myself.
Yeah. What would be the one key message that you can give to women about men?
One clear message. One clear message I give women about men. Try to. I'm struggling to think of one clear message. That's a tough question, Johnny.
Okay. Can I give it another way? What if you looked back at yourself in your first marriage? Okay, if you took yourself now, like the person you are now, like you speak about you being the conscious man that you are.
Yeah.
If you took yourself now, went back to your first marriage, what would you tell that guy?
Oh, that guy has so much to learn. That guy, if I was to tell that guy, that old me, would be not to be so serious. Learn to love yourself. That's been the biggest one.
Yeah.
For myself is me having self-love, complete self-love, and living authentic for me and by my values. So I'd be telling my old self to find his values, align himself with them, get rid of some baggage that was holding him back,
Yeah.
and to truly love himself. And now, and I'm still learning, once you've got self-love, you can give love and you can receive love. That's been massive. The self-love, that's top of the list.
I love that you've shared that. I really appreciate that you shared that part too about about the self-love. So how could women actually pick up on a guy from knowing what you know now? From that, how could a woman pick up on a guy who doesn't have self-love? The woman who tries to get that guy to open up and communicate, but because the self-love might be that vulnerable stage, he doesn't want to be vulnerable. How can a woman pick up on a guy not having self-love? Because you were that guy.
Yeah, that's correct. If the guy is not being aware and conscious of his own thoughts, and when if his language is of being negative towards himself or not being truthful to himself, and if it's not just looking in the eye and being solid and present, I think that's when you can tell if a guy is just not being present and able to look at a lady in the eyes and really converse with her. And you can even tell that with their body language as well. And same with, if a woman's talking to a guy and he's just mucking around and being joking all the time, you got to kind of wonder what's going on there. Why can't he just have a bit of a conversation and be present with me?
Yeah.
We still have fun. Most women still joke around and have fun. But a guy, if the guy's just not standing there and being solid and present and speaking just eye contact and being there.
Yeah, eye contact the one. I appreciate you opening up tonight about everything about your personal life and sharing with the women. So firstly, from me, from ManSpeak, I definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I've got a couple of ladies just talking on the group page now, so I'm just going to share a few things with you, see what your thoughts for it. So I've got Jennifer here first, and she said, "What if a man is only vulnerable with things that is attention, vulnerability on his part, or never wants to be vulnerable at all? How do you get a man to open up, especially when it comes to how he feels about you and your own relationship?"
Yeah, man, that's to be able to get a man to be able to open up. It's a matter of just creating that, environment. It can be just sitting in a space where, where he's comfortable, and it may be sitting out the back on a chair, just where you're both sitting there, and gently asking that conversation. A lot of guys, most guys, will close up and say, "No, I'm all right. It's not me. I'm all right." It's sort of like really just allowing them, if you can find them in a spot where they're comfortable, allow them to talk, and they've got to do their own work as well.
Yes,
exactly. And yeah, it's about just allowing, being there, and just a gentle conversation, and the wording you may use, being soft to the man as well, in regards to not doing the old, "Why don't you talk to me?" Just open up. Tell me what you're going, because that's just defensive. It's going to create defense.
Yeah.
But just by sitting and talking, and it could even be driving to the footy. I'm not saying every woman likes to go to the footy, but it could be driving to the restaurant, where it's in a space where you can actually just start to engage that.
What you're saying is basically just, it all comes down to timing, doesn't it, too?
Yeah, it is timing. It is timing. And for the woman to say, "Look, I am here for you," as a guy should do for a lady as well, let her know that he's there for her. But also for the woman to say to the man, "I love you and I am here for you."
Yeah.
And it's okay to tell me, whether it's good or bad. Because a lot of guys don't want to hurt. They think, "Oh, I don't want to hurt her, or I don't want to say that," so they don't say anything. It doesn't achieve anything.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Thanks, mate. Next one is from Joe. He says, "So how do you tell the difference between someone standoffish from intimacy and someone generally busy? How much chance should you give before walking? How much chance should you give before walking?"
Yeah, I would, if it was a phone call or a text message after that first date. Say you've been on that first date and you're catching the guy, and you send a message saying, "Hey, let's catch up again."
Yeah.
If the guy doesn't respond, I'd like to think within 24 hours,
yeah,
you can't be thinking he's not that interested.
Yeah.
I consider it to be, it's like when you're in business, if someone rings you and it goes to your message bank, you ring back within 24 hours. Yeah. So if someone's keen on you, they will ring you back. They will make contact.
Yeah,
and sometimes you have to let it go.
Yeah, good way of putting it. I think if they see some value in it, they'll continue it. And to be blunt, that's the dating game, isn't it? In a day, like you can't know, but you can please everybody, and that's the way things go. Jennifer said to say thanks, by the way, for that first question. So
you're very welcome.
Yep, all perfect. Look, that's about it for tonight with Mark. But just like to thank the ladies for hopping on tonight and actually listening to Mark and his background. And I can't think of enough Mark himself actually taking the time out to talk to me tonight and to you ladies to give another man's point of view on a different situation. But again, if you have any other questions around the topic for Mark tonight, don't be afraid to to post if you're actually watching this after it's been put on ManSpeak group. I'll definitely try and answer myself, and I might throw a few back to Mark as well. But again, thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it, mate. And open it up.
Thank you very much. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've loved it, mate. Great having a chat, and a lot of things we've given some insight into the man's mind, and being able to see some of the ladies and some of your group, mate. You've got a wonderful group there, so thank you very much. It's been an absolute privilege.
No worries. So that's it, ladies, for tonight for ManSpeak Live. Watch out for next week. It'll just be me, and I'll be going through some topics next week. I'm going to be actually covering something that probably Mark spoke about a little bit tonight. It's about long-distance relationships and how to go through that. So next week, that will be the topic on ManSpeak Live, so watch out for that one. But for Mark and myself, again, thank you for tonight, and take care. Thanks, ladies. Bye.